All right, everyone. So everybody kind of remembers in the build up to WrestleMania, there was this idea that we didn't know, is this going to be The Rock who ends up winning? There was the big "We Want Cody" deal. Fans were basically turning on the WWE over their decisions. And so we now are going to get a little bit from Cody Rhodes. So we're reading an article from TGRWrestling.net. The headline is Cody Rhodes dismisses theory about storyline with The Rock. And here is what he says. This is Cody Rhodes is saying this, okay, while he was on the Pivot podcast. He said, where we would butt heads is in the idea that you could just come back in the midst of a story that was taking place, and just because you are The Rock, you can step into the starting lineup and take WrestleMania for yourself. A lot of people said he's The Rock, he can do whatever he wants. I even saw a podcast with two wrestling talking heads, and they said, I'm sure Cody is fine stepping aside for WrestleMania and doing it later in the year. In my mind, I'm thinking, that's insane. That's the Super Bowl of what we do to get to Sunday, the last day of WrestleMania, the last match. It's our literal Super Bowl. The idea that somebody thought I would be cool with it, they don't know me. That's nonsense. I worked my whole life for this. Rock should know I wouldn't be cool with it. Maybe that's an understanding that him and I have. He found out I'm not cool with it. That's a good thing. You know who wasn't cool with The Rock? Steve Austin. They made magic together. They rubbed together so much it created diamonds. I do have a lot of respect for him. So this is, I mean, this is kind of a bombshell here, right? I think, from what I understand here, Cody is basically saying that there was this push, and maybe The Rock would have been inclined to, go with this storyline of him kind of being the one that wins at WrestleMania. But I think Cody makes his point very clear. And it's weird because, once again, this isn't the Cody Rhodes that you really get on TV. This isn't the Cody Rhodes that you get. His character doesn't come off this way. I hope he leans more into this kind of stuff. And there's been a lot of talk about him. Could he be a heel? Should he be a heel? After hearing this, right, reading just that transcript, I would love to see him be a heel. I would love to see him kind of break out of this, like, everything is all this goody two shoes stuff, right? Which for a babyface is fine, and kind of lean more into being a heel because I think he could do it. And I think his promos, like, I mean, imagine him cutting this promo that we're seeing right here, right? Imagine him cutting that in the midst of, I mean, it truly would be awesome, right? But yeah, I mean, obviously this is the case. And by the way, the fans agreed with Cody on this. Like, everybody loves The Rock. Everybody's like, hey, he's a legend, and what he's done for wrestling should be celebrated. But that doesn't mean that the guy can come back and kind of just throw himself into the main event of WrestleMania. Like, that's, by the way, the role he ended up playing after everything kind of went down was the role he should have been playing. Like, it ended up being the best thing for him, right? It ended up being fantastic. And honestly, what it now sets up is when he does come back, there's a huge jumping off point. Versus if he just won it, maybe he would have been still on wrestling, for the next few weeks. But overall, it would have been not great. It wouldn't have had the same kick. Now, when he does return, it's going to be massive. So I love everything about it. I'm glad Cody kind of stood up for himself. But it does seem like I'm so confused by all of this because I just still can't believe that this was something that WWE was considering. It still just doesn't in my brain sit as if that's something that they're like. It just makes no sense. I don't know who thought that would have been a good idea. It just makes zero sense. So I'm glad this is how it played out. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.